Force Day. This video is presented by Class 7B. I am Lakshita Avasti to introduce this video. Air Force Day. The Indian Air Force is also called the air arm of Indian military. Indian Air Force stands as the fourth best air force on the planet. Its foundation day is celebrated on 8th of October. First, we will study about weapons and headquarters. Air Marshal V.R. Chaudhary. Then, three main achievements achieved by Air Force. History of Air Force. 5 main aircraft used in Air Force. Then information related to Air Force which you are keen to know. Women's in Air Force. The pride of our nation, Wing Commander Abhinandan Varthaman. At last we have a quiz on Air Force. Do you want to know who all are there to present these items? Yes, you are right. They are your friends. So let's see the wonderful presentation by our friends. Let's go.
About the main headquarters of Indian Air Force. Air Headquarters is the topmost formation of Indian Air Force. It is located at New Delhi. All the policy matters and high-level decisions like which aircraft or weapon system is to be purchased and how many soldiers are required for the IAF are decided there. Now, I would like to give you some information about the IAF radar. The radars are the eyes of the Air Force in the sky. They are able to detect the enemy coming inside our airspace from a far distance. Now, I would like to give you a picture of a radar. Now, I would like you to tell something about weapon system of IAF. Once the enemy is detected, they are shot down by our weapon system like fighter aircraft and missiles, etc. Here are some pictures of our IAF weapons. All the machines and equipment together ensure that our skies are safe and remain always blue. Jai Hind and Jai Bharat.
Sir Vivek Ram Chaudhary, the current Chief of Indian Air Force. He was born on 24 September 1962. He took the role of being the Chief of Indian Air Force from 30 September 2021. He got the medals Param Vishish Seva Medal, Ati Vishish Seva Medal and Vayu Sena Medal.
Achievements achieved by Indian Air Force. Rafale. 8 Rafale aircraft have been ferried to India from France and are fully operationalized. First sequence of Rafale was successfully inducted in September 20th with necessary assets and infrastructure. Successful integration of BrahMos launched missile on Sukhoi aircraft. IAF successfully integrated BrahMos air version missile on Sukhoi aircraft. The missile provides Indian Air Force a much desired capability to strike from large and stand-off ranges. Operation Vijay. The Indian operation was condemned Operation Vijay. It concluded on 26th July with Indian Army regaining control over all posts occupied by Pakistani forces that included Army.
History of Indian Air Force. 8th October 1932, 1st April 1954. The two days which I mentioned are the landmarks in the history of Indian Air Force. On 8th October 1932, the Indian Air Force came into being, and on the 1st April 1954, the Air Marshal Subodh Mukherjee, one of the founding members of Indian Air Force, took over the first Indian Chief of Air Staff. 1955-1971, the period of its removal. This was the time the Indian Air Force entered a new era with the application of the jet aircraft. The period also saw 2 Indo-Pak wars, both of them which were marked the neutralization of Pakistani air efforts by the Indian Air Force. In 1990, the last decade of the 12th century was a phenomenal change in the structure of Indian Air Force, with the introduction of women into the Air Force for short service commissions. It was also a time when the Indian Air Force took over some of the most operations that was undertaken.
Fighter jets of Indian Air Force. First is Sukhoi, Jaguar and MiG-21, Tejas, Rafale.
The mission of the Indian Air Force is to secure the airspace of the Indian skies during an armed conflict. It was officially established on 8th October 1932 as an auxiliary air force by the British Empire. During World War II, it was honored by prefix as Royal. After independence and transition to a republic, the prefix Royal was removed and the Indian Air Force came in act. The President of India is the Supreme Commander of the IAF. The Chief of Air Staff is a 4-star officer rank and is responsible for the bulk of operational commands. There is never more than one serving Air Chief Marshal at a given time in the IAF. Indian Air Force is being divided into 5 operational and 2 functional commands. Operational commands are used to conduct military operations using the aircraft within the area of responsibility and to maintain combat readiness all the time. In the peacetime, Indian Air Force carry out routine exercises, training, and helps nation during natural disasters like flood, earthquake, tsunamis, and in COVID pandemic as well. It also carry out international operations like evacuation of people from foreign countries like Afghanistan, Congo, etc.
The first girl who got job in Air Force, Avani Chaturvedi. Avani Chaturvedi was born on 27th October 1993. Also, Avani Chaturvedi is the youngest woman who get job in Air Force. Bhavana Kant. About Bhavana Kant. Bhavana Kant is one of the first female fighter pilots of India. She was declared as the first combat pilot along with the 2 of her cohort, Mohana Singh and Avani Chaturvedi. Born 1st December 1992. Mohana Singh Chitrawal. Mohana Singh Chitrawal is one of the first female fighter pilots of India. She was declared as the first female combat pilot along with 2 of her cohort, Bhavana Kant and Avani Chaturvedi. All 3 women pilots were inducted into the Indian Air Force Fighter Squadron in June 2016.
All must be knowing about Wing Commander Abhinandan Verthaman, an Indian Air Force fighter pilot who during the India-Pakistan standoff was held captured in Pakistan for 60 hours. After his aircraft was shot down in an aerial dogfight. Abhinandan became a national hero within hours of his capture. Pakistan decided to release him on 28 February 2019. He returned to India through Wagah border on 1st March 2019. Abhinandan Verthaman was conferred the Veer Chakra, the coveted Barton Gallantry Medal for downing the F-16 jet of Pakistan during the aerial combat. On 2nd September, Abhinandan flew with Air Chief Marshal B.S. Dhania on a MiG-21 and has got back his flying category in less than 6 months of his education.
A quiz on Indian Air Force, prepared by Annalakshmi Jain. Who is known as the father of Indian Air Force? Subrata Mukherjee. What is the motto of Indian Air Force? Touch the sky with glory. Where is the headquarters of Indian Air Force? New Delhi. Who is the first woman Air Marshal of Indian Air Force? Padmavati Bandyopadhyay. Who is the first woman fighter pilot in Indian Air Force? Avani Chaturvedi.